Probably.
And you want to choose this time to chew your bone?
Yeah.
Is that actually like what?
It's
It's
just,
just plastic.
it's just
Oh,
a
plastic.
nyla bone.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. We didn't actually give the job
That's
like
so-
you
I'll find
bone.
someone else to start chewing on it.
Oh, we're here to interview you.
I was like, oh, this interview is gonna go very well.
Well, hello. It's been a while.
A little bit.
We've got some guests. Yay. So today we wanted to talk a little bit with Melody and Glad. They did our video for our wedding, and we were so excited when we found them. Did you find them? I can't remember.
Mhm.
Did I find
I
them?
did.
I won't take credit for that then. When Brad found them.
Yes.
And
I was on videographer duty.
because
Just
he's
because
more particular.
I like to play around with stuff, as you see, not anything professional or anything like that, but play around with it. So I'm a little bit more specific about everything. And she said, make a list, go find some folks, and they're at the top of my list.
Yeah.
After watching
So
some
we were
videos
super
and seeing
excited.
everything and all.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then we were able to talk with them. We had to FaceTime because, pandemics and
COVID.
so, yeah. But yeah, and then we were like, here's our fusion wedding, and here's a custom package that we will need because of all our events. And they were super gracious and excited. So we figured we want to get some thoughts on how they felt about our wedding, and then just like stuff about them.
If you haven't watched our wedding video yet,
Yeah.
you should.
Here, watch.
Links down below.
Everyone cried on the trailer. I think
I-
Brad also cried.
Yeah, I teared up.
Did you
And
guys
that-
cry?
I cried.
I get choked up every time
Yeah,
I hear
right?
your mom.
I
speak.
know, my
Like,
mom.
I can't
Everyone's
make
just
through
like,
that one.
man, Mother India is just like really every time.
Yeah, I'm not much of one for tearing up with stuff like that, and when we watch every time, it's like,
Yeah.
man,
Come here.
Yeah, it's just-
every time.
Yeah.
He would be editing it in the living room, and I'd be in the bedroom, like,
It's
so good.
it's just so good. And like the music, it just like builds you up as well with like your emotions and stuff. It's like you knew what you were doing.
Thank you.
It's just-
Like, we knew the video was going to be good, but we didn't know it was going to be that good. I didn't expect to cry from watching the video.
Do you guys want to kind of introduce, as Melody takes a sip, sorry, I'm just like trying to drink, yeah.
That's-
Do an introduction, and
It's
then
casual.
we can kind of like, welcome some beverages.
Sure. We are Glad Films. This is Glad. Yeah. We do videos. We do weddings. We do events and promotions and commercials and all kinds of things. He's the talent, and I write the emails. So.
Write the emails.
It's an important part.
She's like,
It really is.
she's like director of communications.
Uh-huh. Yes.
That's what.
I can give
yeah.
myself a fancy title.
Director
I
of
think you should.
communications.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Take that.
All right. First question. We got a list here. How long have you been doing videography?
It has been probably since 2014, so that would make 6 years. 21,
6, 7
right?
years.
Yeah, 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been quite a while.
Yeah, Glad graduated from film school
Mhm.
in 2014.
14.
I think it was 2014. And then we did our first wedding together in 2015.
We got married in 2015 as well, and then we did
Mhm.
somebody's wedding.
Okay.
We actually haven't started like doing weddings right off when I graduate, because I actually never thought about like doing weddings at all. It's something that just came along when people like asking us like, hey, would you film, like
Mhm.
they used to, start posts on social media, and
Mhm.
it's just come from people like, hey, would you mind, filming my daughters or my son's getting married next week or whatever.
Well, I'm glad you did our professionally.
I
was excited. So next question is, what made you get into videography?
I always like not so much the aspect of like the technical part, but just really just the way, story can be told like through image and the videos, and I picked up a camera and figured that was, kind of my path, and start doing videos, just making videos at home, like little mundane things. And
Was that before, like, so you did that and then you like went to film school, or was that like kind
No,
of the path?
no, actually, that is after like going to school. I
Okay.
learned like some, audio technician, and then switched to, general like filmmaking, and then eventually picked up, doing this videography.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where did you go to film school?
That was back home, which is Ethiopia. If you didn't detect the accent yet, that's from East Africa, Ethiopia. So, yeah.
And then, so when did you move to the States?
We moved to state 2015.
Oh, that's right. You guys
Yeah, in
met
October.
there. I remember
Yeah.
you talking about that.
Yep, we met in
We
Ethiopia.
met in Ethiopia, yeah.
And he went to film school in the same area where I went to language school, and so
Neighbors, yeah.
we interacted a
Yeah.
lot. That's how we met.
Mhm.
And that was, I guess that's one of the bonus things. So when she had me looking for videographers and I was compiling my list, I was not looking at the videographers themselves, right? I was looking at all the videos and going through and like making a list based off of what I liked when I saw from like all the work that they had done and everything, both from weddings. And that's one of the things I liked was not from weddings, like some very cinematic looking videos of motorcycles and cars and everything. And I was like, because that's the look I like, is that cinematic kind of look. And that was one of the things that made me put them at the top of the list. And then for us, if you've followed us, watched any of our videos, we talk a lot about our multicultural relationship and some of the challenges that we've had and the things. And then come to find out, multicultural company and couple and everything. So it just kind of...
I would say it added to the experience just because I think just like having an understanding of like different cultures and everything else, and just like making room for that respect was already easier, and we didn't have to do a lot of, I felt, explanation as to like what we want and what kind of represents us. Would you say it's added to like the way you guys approach stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Having experience outside of one way of doing things is definitely having weddings that have multiple ceremonies and multiple different aspects to them is a big thing in Ethiopia too. So, we have that experience, and especially when it comes to weddings, I feel like a wedding is like such a representation of a culture. It's like you stuff all your culture into a wedding, like all of the ceremonies, all of everything. And even people that are from the same country or the same culture, they have different family cultures, and you're stuffing all of those different, cultures and ways of doing things into, one day or multiple days.
Yeah, that's a really good way.
Week. So it's really, it really adds to everything.
I think that was one of the things that really kind of inspired us to do your wedding as well, when we got to know you guys a little bit. And as soon as you told me that was like, it's gotta be Indian American infused wedding, I was like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah,
because
I'm not biased or anything, but it was great.
I guess the reason why is because I kind of love the aspect of weddings and how you can bring like that cultural, like, I don't think there's a better way of like bringing some culture into one place, and that is like not a place for it, but like you actually like bring the whole thing. It's like being on a tour.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's like
mini tour.
Mini tour. Yeah,
because you get the people and you get the traditions, and then my favorite part, you get the food.
Yeah.
I love
you
it.
bring all that together. So
you get the food. Yeah,
you get the food. So that's important.
It is a mini tour.
It is.
It definitely is.
Okay, so which part, and I feel like you've mentioned this before, is which part is your favorite, the filming or the editing portion?
I like the filming because I don't do the editing, but I enjoy, experiencing the day through the camera and, kind of thinking about how Vlad's gonna piece these images together into something afterwards. It's really...
I guess my favorite has to be a thing that I found when I, get back to my room and trying to put things together.
Yeah.
Because you have like a few ideas and thoughts what's gonna be, taking place, especially like talking to you guys beforehand is give you a little bit of a planning. But I guess my favorite thing, that's the thing that happened like randomly, like throughout the day, is just moment that you get here and there.
Yeah.
Is like, Wow, yeah, that I think that has to be my favorite. I have so many favorite things about your day, but I think all the little things here and there.
One part I do remember is just like when I was like sitting with like on the couch with like my head, and then like everyone's just like, "Don't worry, he has a plan. Don't worry." And I was like, "I don't know what the plan is. But, like I don't know what I'm doing," and I was just like sitting like this.
I remember that.
God, I was like, "Just trust me," and like I was just like. That's like the one thing I remember from like the end of our trailer video is just like, I was like, that's it. Like, that's what he was doing. And it was just like so hard, but it was just like so cool to just be like, everyone's just like, it's gonna be fine. Just like do what he's doing. And like, he has like a point. And I was like, okay, but like on the other side, I'm just like I don't know what this is. This can be like cool looking, but.
No, but really, when we
yeah.
were watching it for the first time,
Yeah.
she's over there crying, and then all of a sudden that part comes on, she stops, she's like, that's what he was trying to do. Okay. Like in the middle, she's wiping her tears away, like, pause it, that's it, right there.
I was, because I was so curious about that specific thing. So I was like, everyone. I mean, he remembers it too, because I was like,
I do
God, what are
remember
you
that
making
video,
me
yes.
do? Like, I
I
have
do
no
that
idea.
all the time, like, you know, when we're just out, you know, and he's filming and stuff. I'm like, God, this looks ridiculous. What are you making me do? Like, this is ridiculous. Why? And then I see it and I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. I think that trust is just going to take a little bit. But yeah, I was just like, on my side, I feel like I look ridiculous. So what are we doing? What was it like filming the wedding? It's okay if you say overwhelming.
It wasn't really overwhelming. It was, you know, it was so special because we got there the first day for the first ceremony, the haldi,
Friday, yeah.
and we like, you know, your mom made us feel so welcome. Like she's like, come on, have some food, and we're like, well, we gotta kind of sit up, and we're gonna eat like food too.
Right at the door, so that was like,
yeah, and then like your brother and like all your cousins, we just sat with them and chatted with them. Like we felt like we were just, you know, like a part of the family right away. And so it was so part of the day, like the whole time, you know. Sometimes, you know, like you have different chemistry with different couples, you know, and you hope to have that chemistry with the family too. Sometimes we're more in the background and either is okay, but it's just so much fun when you like go into somewhere and you feel so like welcomed and like this is, you know, it just adds so much to our experience as filmmakers. And
definitely had an expectation it's going to be a little overwhelming.
Yeah. See?
You know, because like, well, we had ideas and we didn't know exactly, you know, like how things would, you know, unfold. And
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Neither did I. Especially during the Indian ceremony, we didn't practice that at all.
We should have just actually rehearsed the actual Indian part because like everyone knew what to do for the American part, but no one knew anything, including our priest. So we should have definitely practiced that one.
But I think what broke that like kind of like that tension out, if you know, if you will, but is like entering the door and meeting like a small group of people that like intimate people who, you know, sat with us and we had lunch. You just like chatted, like, you know, it was like just a free time, kind of like getting to know each other without intention. So that definitely kind of like opened up, like, you know, then kind of left this trust behind, and, you know, we just really blended in, like, you know.
What were your favorite parts, and what were some of your not so favorite? Because it's fun. It's not. I definitely had my not so favorite.
Well, I think my favorite part of your wedding, it won't be just one, it will be a couple of them. One is well, the just the amount of attention that went into the details of what both of you, you know, were like, you know, I thought that was fabulous. Like, you know, the jewelries and, you know, the extensive of all the decoration. I thought that was beautiful. And the other favorite thing was the dance. The dance, especially the stick dance. Oh my goodness. That was like in my brain. It was kind of like just implanted in my brain.
And if it had been up to her,
I
it would not have
no
happened.
stick dance.
She did not want to stick
I
dance.
did not. Because my mom snuck those in, and she's like, "Oh,
That
she's
was
not
great."
doing it." But you know, it worked out in the end because people were just like into it. But like, if you actually like traditionally did it, like you have to have like the traditional kind of music. And then I was like so worried about trying to find that type of music, and like there's only so much stick dancing you can do after a while. So
Turns
it's
out
just
there's
like,
not.
yeah, there's
Everybody
not.
just keeps
Everyone
stick
just
dancing.
like
I know.
kept
Everybody
doing
just
it.
keeps going.
But like that's kind of what, because I was like, oh, like, you know, the DJ's already like a little bit unfamiliar with the whole situation, so I didn't want to like overwhelm them, and then like also overwhelm the people with like the pandemic and everything else. So I was like trying to like, no, we're not doing that. And then like she snuck them in, and they were like
That was
the biggest
fantastic.
hit.
The
It's
biggest
huge.
hit.
Yeah, it was a huge hit.
Yes.
My
that-
favorite was when your brother just got in the middle and you're like, all right, I'm going to show everyone this once.
Yeah, he
Yeah, 'cause
showed
everyone's
us
like-
attention.
And fun fact, that was the most stolen item from our wedding.
It was,
Sticks.
yeah. People
Oh,
took
this
them home.
really
Yeah.
took home.
Yeah, people took them home. People took one of them home and said, "What are you gonna do with the one of them?"
Displayed on the mantle or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
that-
they did. We didn't have any to
So
take
funny.
back. So.
My favorite moment was when one of the guests at the wedding, she had gotten up and she was like ready to do the stick dance. She thought she had heard a song that was the stick dance. And so she gets up and she's like real excited. And she's like,
I think
yeah,
I read
because
it.
she had just figured out how to do
Oh.
it.
Yeah. And the DJ went and
And
changed
then the
music.
DJ
and
changed the music
yeah.
and she's like,
She was so devastated.
and I'm sitting behind the camera like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
I saw that party.
My other favorite part about your wedding was your mom. Like, I was obsessed with your mom this whole time. Like,
She was been
you
talking
know,
about it the
she's
whole
like
time.
got this like elegant way of dancing and like, you know, like she was just like on fire the whole night. And I think the favorite part was watching your mom and was it your aunt
Mhm.
who were helping all of your bridesmaids
Yeah.
get ready in the morning.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was so special.
Yeah.
And like making sure the necklace was just right and
Mhm.
like everything,
What was something that you were surprised by?
the details.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when it went down.
Detail shot.
You want to take them down.
That was a lot of details.
Yeah.
Oh, like the jewelry.
Like all
and
the
stuff?
jewelry and everything like
Yeah,
that. That
yeah.
was like when Lee and we were bringing all the details
Yeah,
down
yeah,
and
yeah.
trying to lay them,
Yeah.
and we're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. That's how I felt as well. Yeah.
Because there was so much
So much.
jewelry.
Yeah.
And we're like, is she gonna wear everything in this or just some of it? Or so we're
Yeah,
trying
it
to
was a
figure out
lot.
the
But
details.
I'm like, I'm
but-
super thankful that y'all got some of those
Mhm.
shots because
Yeah.
those were so much like so meaningful.
Mhm.
And I had told my mom when she was buying the whole set, like, oh, like I'm not gonna wear all of this just because I was like, I'm gonna be uncomfortable. The dress already weighed like 10 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever, and I was just like didn't want to have all that stuff up. But it was like
Mhm.
really nice to actually just see how it all came together.
Yeah,
With that.
it was so beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah, we just had to find a big enough table.
I know.
to lay
Yeah.
it.
I was like, did they like
It was
just?
so fun.
Where's everyone at with the jewelry? It's like, he was like, oh my god, it was so
Yeah.
much. Like it's taking so much time. I'm like, yes, that's a lot. Cool. That's all we got.
That's the end of the question. So
That's the other questions.
if
Did
there's
we miss
anything that,
any? Yeah.
anything that you want to talk about, whether it's our wedding or just about what you do, you want people to know.
I think just the value of having a wedding video is still a little bit unknown to some people. I feel like not everyone, like it's kind of like an afterthought for a lot of people, like even to get a film. And I know for us, for our wedding, we were, you know, back and forth. We were like, oh, paying for a photographer, isn't that enough? But then obviously he does film, and we're like, we really want a wedding film.
Mhm.
And we're so happy that we did it because it's just like, it just adds like a really, you know, it helps you to feel all those feelings again. Like you were saying, like you just want to go back to that feeling, like
Yeah.
the feeling of, you know, you don't miss the stress, you don't miss the planning, you don't miss like putting on all the clothes and everything like that, but like the feeling of like the wedding,
Mhm.
like, and that's really what we aim to capture is like the feeling of people's weddings and giving you that feeling in a film so that you can go back to that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, because it's funny the details that you just like forget when life gets busy,
Mhm.
and it's like you can watch your film and just go back and experience it all over again.
No,
That's
and that,
really like
yeah.
that.
I mean, we were so first you guys captured it perfectly, and
Yeah.
then some. I mean, it's
I'm
just
not gonna
fantastic.
admit how many times I've watched
Yeah, I think
videos.
as of this morning,
it might be embarrassing.
as of this morning, our video again. Watch it down below if you've not watched it. has 8.9 thousand views,
Wow.
and probably half of those are us.
Yeah.
Watching it over and over.
We're
Yeah,
just
that's
trying
my
to promote
guess.
ourselves, guys. Okay.
That's my guess. Half of those are us. But we were very much the same way. Like originally when we were planning, we did say, hey, because we like to mess around with video stuff and everything. We're like, it'd be cool to have a video, but we're like, yeah, we're also, it's expensive to have a wedding. It's very expensive to have a wedding in Charleston. And then we're doing 2 days, which is essentially 2 weddings worth of stuff that we have to do. It's like, do we really want to? And we're back and forth. And then we're like, you know what? We do. It's something we enjoy.
Yeah,
That's important to us.
We just finally were like, this is something that we've wanted, because we had put in like, okay, like, need versus want and stuff like that. And then like, we were just like, okay, like, these few things are really important for us, and like given the crappy state of the world and what we had to already give up for the wedding, like this is what we want to not make up for it, but like as to hold on to it and as an aspect of that. So
and then then you definitely realize that it is more of a need, right? To really kind of look back, it's one thing to have all those memories and all that kind of stuff, but to actually watch it, you can kind of relive it a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's
need a good cry, watch it.
Well, followed by a smile. I think my description was the crying emoji and then the fire emoji. That's the video.
That's how it was.
I think I like that description because it's that.
That's the goal.
Yeah, it's like
that's the goal.
You gotta have that laugh and also like the natural occurring of like emotional moments, and I think that's what I love about that. I kind of like going back to the traditional, weddings. I guess that's the reason why people don't really consider like wedding videos. Most of the time, it's like, do you remember watching your parents' wedding videos? They always like,
It's just like
long hours.
Yeah.
hours and hours of
Right.
footage. And
I wouldn't judge people. I wouldn't sit and watch, like an hour and a half long video about wedding. I guess what really love about what we do in general in this industry is that like, this modern like kind of like contemporary like cinematic world is this that you bring that like all in like few minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like in that like
exactly.
20-15 minutes and you have kind of like that experience and
Yeah, I think that's definitely true, that like when people think about that, they think of like the long, like sitting through the entire ceremony, which is not
Someone sitting in the back with the camcorder.
like not what we
just filming
are
it straight
doing.
through.
Yeah. But like I was also appreciative that like he was able, like, and this is more because Brad likes, the editing and like all the videography stuff, but like he got the raw film as well, because like we can watch certain moments that like are more private to us versus like not something that we would want in a video that we'll share with other family members and kids and stuff like that. But it's just like some time just for us. I think that was
not everybody wants to sit through, like you said, an hour and a half straight of your
Right.
wedding, hour and a half, 2 hours straight of your reception, things like that. But you can if you want to.
Right. Because we definitely laughed through a lot of stuff. So like I'd be curious to just like how the ceremony was with like the missing folder and talk amongst yourselves with
Well, I didn't want people to feel too awkward or anything.
My favorite part was actually when your officiant didn't have your vows.
Yeah.
Remember that moment? That was super nice because, well, the way you just guys like broke the silence kind of like came up and people like start chatting. It was just a good time. It was a good time. You know what I mean?
Take a break. Take 10.
Yeah.
Can we get some drinks out here or something? Josh is done.
It will be.
It's making real hard.
All right, so a brief interlude. Somebody forgot to bring the script down for the American ceremony and our vows, which are in there. So that's what we're waiting for. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I was just like, we tried so hard to be as organized as possible. Like I was on the Google Doc and everything else. But after a while, we just was like, well, we're here. I don't know what to do.
Well, that's when the magic happens, and you guys like, like your personality just gets to like shine through all of the organization. Everything is perfect, but then like
You leave a little room for magic.
there's like little
Yeah,
moments that don't go so well, and everyone laughs about it, and it's just like, okay, everyone feels like connected and
everyone was connected in the fact that like no one knew what the hell the Indian ceremony was, what was happening,
Mhm.
what we were doing with the Dannon container.
Yeah, the yogurt, so they're in the yogurt container,
There was no yogurt in there.
which I was disappointed by. I was like, I could
It's
use I actually think my favorite part was when he said marriage finished.
Yeah, that's why I was just like
That's-
literally like sit there for
The priest is like marriage finished. I was like, okay, great.
it's like that's what we've been waiting on.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like this is it.
Done. Chalo. Yes, marriage finished.
Marriage finished.
You say marriage finished.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and it's like I'm leaving now.
He goes and puts his beanie
Yeah.
on and starts picking up his stuff while we're continuing the ceremony. And
Which we talked to him, but like it was just so funny that he was just like, "All right, I gotta go, guys. Bye."
hang on, you gotta sign the
I
certificate.
know. I
And-
was like, "We gotta sign this."
Oh,
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for
Thank
taking
you
the
for having
time.
us. That's great. It was a great laugh.
Reminisce and
yeah.
hang out and talk about
Thank
all
you for the
what
video.
you do and our wedding.
So yeah, again, if you've not watched the wedding video, why not?
No, why
Yeah,
not?
why not?
But if you haven't, the link's down below. But also, you could check out Glad Films, link to their website, social medias, everything down below. Please take a look at what they do. It's awesome. That's, like I said, that's when I was looking and I came across their website and everything. So I was like, oh, yep, that's going to the top of the Google Sheet. New row.
Yes.
Put it
Google
in.
Sheets.
And it was awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Nice.
Very exciting.
To y'all.
cool.
Very good.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys.
Cheers.
Rich. Rich.
Yay. Oh,
Sorry.
can't reach. Do you want to start and introduce?
I'll let you start. Because I end up talking too much on all of
He
our videos.
does, and I love it because
I have to spend so much time editing myself out of the videos
I
to
feel
make,
ya.
make it sound like she's talking more.